Yes, my people, good day. Working on this Mercedes-Benz E350. We have codes in there for, boom, airflow of secondary air system is too low for bank 2 and too low for bank 1. Chances are the diverter valve going bad and affecting both sides slim to none. We're going straight to the pump and see what's going on there, making sure that everything is good. Also have a charge movement flap cylinder bank 1. That stuff right there, boy, that has to do with inside the intake manifold, you know, but I will do some diagnosis on that. But we're going to start off with the secondary air injection system. You understand? So let's start getting into it. This is the air pump. This is a diverter valve. You notice they have the connection right here going to the valve. And then there's another connection under here because this is the next diverter valve. Before they used to pipe them all the way over, but now they upgraded the design and just went from pump to hose to valve. Same thing on the lower part, pump to hose to valve. Now, the code that we're getting saying that the valves are not working, but the code itself could be misleading. One of the things could be bad is the pump itself could be bad, or it could not be getting the signal. So before I start doing vacuum pump tests to the valve to see if it's opening and if it's holding vacuum and all that, I simply want to do an electrical test. So I already unplugged it, and this is the plug right here. I am going to do a continuity test on the pump itself to see if the pump is open. Those are the two plugs right there. So I'm just going to go across it using ohms on my meter. I have both my leads here, and I'm going to ohm it while holding on here. Boom, boom. See, I have it on there, and I'm touching it on here. And what do I get? What do I get? Let me get. Look what I get. Bam. 0.9 ohms of resistance. That's not terrible. That is not terrible at all. So, all right. So we know it's not open. So that's a good thing. But the situation is, even though it is not open, it does not mean that it's working. The windings can be good, but it could be mechanically stuck. And you cannot detect that by doing an ohms reading. So the next thing you can do is you can send power directly to the motor itself and see if it spins up. So let us do that. And the way I do that is I use I just got this kit the other day. Work out nice, you see. I use my power probe because on the power probe, it has this ground clamp right there, and then you have this button where you can press, and then it sends 12 volts to this tip right here. So let us set that up while holding this. All right, so that's what we get. As I say, this is the ground tab. This is the power one when I push this. Right? Now, before I power it up, this is kind of important. It is important. It's just 2 wires going to the electric motor, right? It's not like 3 wire or anything like that. Just 2 wires. So what happens is, when you power it one way, it'll spin one way. You power it the other way, it'll spin the other way. But either which case, even if it's spin backwards, we're just doing it for testing purposes. We're just checking to see if it's working or not. But I still look. So you see, I kind of pull the insulation back, and I see a red and I see a brown. And with these European cars, brown is ground. So if the upper leg is ground, the lower one is power. So I'll just hook it up the way it is. So I'm doing it now. So I'm on the ground. So I'm getting ready now. This is going to be energizer power when I push the button, right? Now, you see it detects the ground that I supplied here. Let me remove it and then test again. See, there's nothing. So that is also a double confirmation that the windings are good in the electric motor. We just checked that with the ohms, so no surprise. So, all right, so boom. Now we go add power and listen. Nothing. We don't hear nothing. We don't hear the pump power up at all. It should and spin up. That's saying to me that the pump is bad. They do go bad. Now, before, one last test that I want to do is, this car is cold. So with the secondary air injection system, it operates after the car has been sitting for a long time and it's cold, and you start it up cold start. It's going to run for a few seconds, maybe a minute. achieve its duty, which is to introduce fresh air into the exhaust system to help to promote the complete combustion of the unburnt fuel due to the rich mixture that is required to start a internal combustion engine when it is cold. You have to make sure so we get it right. All right, so boom, bam. I'm going to put these two into the... Yo, I love this kit already. All right, so we're now tapped into the car computer because it's going to send the signal to this guy right here, right? So what happened with that now is when I do that, I am just going to hook onto my load tester here, my trusty bulb on here. And what should happen, and I'm hoping that it does, when I start this up, because the car is cold, this bulb should light. Should light right up. Put it right, so see it? I'm gonna wire them one, got the wrong place. All right, so boom, boom, boom. Should light right up. Let me see. It didn't do it. So it doesn't mean that it is not working. It just means that maybe the few moments that I'd started it earlier put it outside of the parameter to energize the air pump. So I'm going to go into the computer system now to see if I can activate it. I saw an option in there, so we go see if we can activate it. But whichever the case, even if we cannot activate it here, if you put 12 volts straight to this air pump, it should fire up. And it is not doing that. So I'm going to see. Boom. History. Boom. Boom. Diagnosis. All right. Control unit. Drive to get to these. Control. Natural. Direct select interface. Oh no. Let me go to where I saw it first. Anyway. Active test. Air pump switch over valve. It doesn't say air pump, but it says switch over valve. Why they bring you close, but sometimes the wording isn't. So I'm hoping for that. Let me see. It's just the valve. It's just the valve for the air pump. Switch over valve. The vacuum actuated valve. All right. Oh, whoa, look, electric air pump. Wow. Let's see if we lock out. Let's see if we lock out. Electric air pump. Okay. F1 turning on. Said on. It still ain't come on. Turning, it said it on. Actuation was cancelled. The maximum actuation is 10 seconds was achieved. Necessity a pause of at least 5 minutes. Air pump switch over. Y32. My bulb didn't light. You know, it's time to get a wiring diagram out now and see what's going on, you know, because I'm going to confirm that we have pause and ground. Something going on, but it okay. Something going on, but it not necessarily mean that there's only one thing going on. Sometimes you have two things going on. The motor itself could be bad, and then also the control circuit could be bad. I am getting two separate symptoms here, because if this was the only thing that was bad, it should light my bulb, and it didn't. So now I'm going to check for powers and grounds now coming to this wire here. Always something. All right, so check this out now, because I am tracking down the air pump. You know, I'm reaching for my wiring diagrams and then also my locations. But just let me show you some of the things we encounter in our day-to-day stuff right here. Now, this is information, right? So I am searching for the location of the relay for the secondary air pump. Let me click on this right here, right? So they give us that. Boom. Look. You see where it is? Take note how it's situated. You see they put a little red box right there. So it's all the way to the end here. There's a blank spot for a relay here, but it's this one. It is that one. They say that's it. So I say, okay. So now in the diagram right below it, right? It's same fuse box, see? Same fuse box. They're just showing you two different views, right? Secondary air injection rate. And let me read everything, right? So on this one, it says N10 1kp secondary injection relay engine compartment. Down here, it says secondary N10 slash 1kp. So it's the same thing. But look where they're pointing now. They're pointing at L. L, which would be here, that black one. Not this one that they circle. This one that they circle is P. P. Which is it? Is it P or is it L? You understand what I'm saying? So on this one, it's L. This one up to the top, which would be this one here, that black one. But on this one, they circle the red, which is that gray one, which is P. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, let me tell you. Just can't make this stuff up, boy. Simple little diagnosis. Does it have to be this difficult? You know what I mean? I could just throw some parts at it and say, oh, it'll be fine. But I like to diagnose my stuff. I know, say, yo, definitely, that is what's going on with it. And boy, let me tell you, simplest thing. So I reach out to them and say, yo, clarify this for me because I don't have time for waste. But, you know, it's easy enough to really check it. But when I'm doing diagnostics, I do not like too many wild cards, outliers. You understand? Because it can turn into a whole 8 hours just because you took the wrong turn. You understand? So I'm going to look at the car now and see what it look like in the fuse box and see if there was like a VIN split or something. But still, you understand what I'm saying? Hi, let's go. So this is a fuse box here. You know what I mean? And because it's fairly easy to get to, I guess I'll just mess with it now. But what I should have done is went straight to that and check for powers and grounds there. I know that both of them are not present with the test that I ran when I tried to activate it. Both of them are, one of them missing or both of them missing. Something going on. So I should just really go there and check for powers and grounds and stuff. But since you know, this thing is getting interesting. So all right, so boom, here we are. So one diagram said this, next diagram said that, and these two are present. Let me see if Mercedes give us anything on. Typical. So it's either this or either that. So since we can figure out the power now, let me confirm something. So this is the relay right here. Driver side, SAM control module, left engine. We know that. But it not tell you anything else. You have to now figure out which one of these relays. So you have to go in your relay location to identify each relay. And then the relay location is conflicting. Lucky me, find the whole of all data, search it out to find errors. Yeah. So anyway, this is the pump right here. And for the pump to work, you have to have a power and a ground. So we can at least check the ground. So let us just check the ground. Make sure that because it could be a bad ground. And the power the power forwarded. And because the ground was missing, it didn't work when we activated it using the computer. So let us confirm that the ground is there. And then we'll go back to that. So now I am going to load test the ground circuit, which is and this might be confusing. So let me set it right so we don't confuse anybody. All right? I don't have a brown lead. So we're going to use black for ground. Okay? All right. So we're going to load test the ground circuit. So how we do that is, if this is ground, pay attention now. Ignore these wires here. If this is ground on one leg, this is ground on one leg, and we put power to this straight from the battery, because this is a good ground, the bulb will light. So I am going to put power to this leg. Ignore these two. These are just extra pigtails. I'm going to put power to this leg, the red, and the bulb should light to confirm my ground is good. Ground is good. So therefore, the problem is a power problem. So now, I don't want to be guessing too much. I can't figure out which relay it is still in a but I don't want to be guessing too much. All right. So we have the ground sort out. So we know it's at the ground. So now, next thing now. Put ground good. So it's power. All right. I could just put a pump on it now, but I want to see this signal come in there. All right. So boom. There's a fuse 32. That is important. That is an important fuse 32. And it's in that box. Now, one of the things with me is, if I am in the fuse box and I'm checking fuses, I check every single fuse. So I'm not going to spend no time searching which fuse is 32 from whatever. I know it's a 40 amp and it's a 30, and I know it's a 40 amp. I don't care if it's 32 or not. So I'm going to check all the fuses and make sure that there are no missing fuses from any spots. And that way now I know that all the fuses are good. Let's do that. This tip kind of big. Some of them little small fuses there. So let me get an adapter. All right, here's my adapter. So what happened is this don't. Yo, it's picking up a ground in me. Hello, Zanskar. It's just a rebel in me, and the rebel we be will bring sweet harmony. And it will bring out the rebel, bring out the rebel, bring out the rebel in me. Yo, this thing picking up the rebel in me. Anyway, this don't fit good into here. It fall off, but you see it have the nice little small tip, work with it. And I learned this little trick from Check Engine Chuck on TikTok, right? Him squish it a little bit. Yo, as simple as that. I never thought to do that. And it fit nicely on there. Now I have a little small little. It need a new squishy. Make it squish again. See? Squish him a little bit. Now that's in there, boy. So big up. Check Engine Chuck. There's a lot I can learn from that guy. Guy good at diagnostics, let me tell you. All right, so let us go over here. Them say it's a 40 amp. I'm looking for the, there's a big old 40 amp right here. That. Now what do you know? What do you know? Yeah. So now, that is confirmation right there that that pump is really bad, because when they bind, they draw more amps, more current. And that's more than 40 amps, and it pop the fuse. See? Boom. So 40 amp right there. And it is right next to the relay that they said that should be it. You know what I mean? So chances are, you know, it's do that. So situations like these, I'm going to replace both the relay and the pump and the fuse, because that pump was drawing too much amps. It could burn the relay. It might be good, but it might be hurt. And working on these cars, people don't want the headache to have to keep coming back all the time. Just fix it right and done. You understand? Don't try saving them $20 right now for them to have an inconvenience in 6 weeks. You understand? Just fix it right. Change the thing if you're suspecting. I'm still going to go through the relays, the fuses anyway, just to make sure. What I'm looking for is the same power on both, either ground or power on both sides. But one side can't be power and one side ground. That means it cut. So some of them you touch, you might have ground, and you hear a different tone and a different light color light up here, but it's had to be the same on both sides. Good. Listen to this one now. Red, see? Red and it sound one way. Listen. No, the reason not going on, is because the connector is unplugged from the air pump. I'm going to plug it in. I will check again, and instead of this one over here, you're hearing nothing. You're going to get a ground here because the windings are still good in the motor, and the ground is good in the circuit. So the ground is going to walk through the windings all the way back to here. So when I touch on this next time, it's going to be ground. Watch. We don't get no ground there. Why me not get no ground there? Why me not get the ground coming back through? She should be crazy. What that wiring diagram look like? You know that not important, but you know what I mean? It's trying to prove me wrong. Oh. Cause you know, energize. It would have to be inner. Okay. It's open on one end. It's open on one end. That's why the ground is not able to walk back through. Okay, but still, regardless, it's powered up. And if it's powered up, it's going to have power on both sides. I'm going to remove the fuse now so you can see it. Yeah, I'm doing all this extra stuff. But I just love this stuff. You understand? Especially the electric. Yeah, boy. You know, you could have fixed 10 cars already. Yeah, that cut. You can see the burn mark in there. You can see the fuse. It's burned inside there. You can see how the fuse look rough right there, so it's cut right there. Yeah, you can see it right there now. See good. See that? You see that right there, sir? That cut. So we need fuse, relay, pump, and that's what it is. That's how I work. Thorough, comprehensive, costs a little bit more, but no headache dealing with that foolishness moving forward. You understand? So that's what we're doing. We'll get everything ordered up and go from there.
Yeah, man. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bless. Yeah. And don't forget to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel.